Alright, so for this project you will need a hot glue gun, scissors, hot glue sticks, popsicle sticks, the thick ones, wooden dowel, paper roll tube or some kind of cardboard tube, cardboard obviously, and finally some sort of marker to mark for later uses. Anyways, let's get on to the thing.
Guys, it's been a little while since I posted a video. I'm actually gonna do a tutorial this time. I haven't done one in a while. But anyways, let's get right into this. Alright, so first you're gonna need anything that's like a tube. So right here I have this cardboard like tube. It's nice and thick. It's long. So it'll make a nice barrel for our Nerf gun. If you don't have something like this, you could always use a paper roll tube right here, like this. For using this though, you have to cut it down to the size of your dart. So if I have, let's say this, I want to cut this down to be the diameter of about this. But keep in mind that does have to be a little bit bigger. You don't want it to be tight or anything around the dart. Alright, next you'll need a wooden dowel. And the diameter of the wooden dowel should be about the same size as your dart. So for a standard waffle head, this would be good. For a mega dart, it'd have to be a little bit bigger, like this. But you'll need a wooden dowel, and I recommend a slightly thicker wooden dowel. It doesn't have to be too much thicker. For the base, this is gonna be the physical pusher of the dart, and this is gonna be the base where this is gonna attach to, so like this. Alright, so your next step is gonna be to get your wooden dowel, your cardboard tube or triple towel roll, and stack it like this vertically. Same one. Put it inside. Flip it, or you can go from the top and then mark where it ends about here. So it'll be right here. So mark it there. And as showed earlier, you're gonna grab your thick popsicle stick. Grab this, and you're gonna mark around here. So basically, you're just marking where the beginning and the end is. So the end here is gonna be where you're gonna cut it off, and the beginning is where like the actual barrel length is for the pusher, and then this middle part is where your popsicle stick's gonna go. Alright, so I did a little bit off screen, but basically, once you have it cut down to the size, so for example for this is gonna be fitting inside here, so like that. You can see it doesn't go out, but it takes up pretty much all of the barrel. And then also as well, you need to glue down your popsicle stick. So I recommend gluing your popsicle stick so that if you shift it from here to even to that other side, it won't go in, but it'll still remain out. And basically, you want to have one popsicle stick on one side and then another one on the other side. Anyways, your next step is gonna be to reinforce the pusher. So the way I reinforce my pushers is that you're gonna get another popsicle stick, and on the top you're gonna put another popsicle stick here, and then you're gonna connect it to here. Make sure to cut it down the size. You're gonna hot glue a little bit here just to give it some more structural support, and then on the bottom you're gonna be cutting more, adding here, because how it's gonna work is that in a little bit it'll catch onto like something like the base. It'll catch onto here like that, and then you'll make a trigger which will push this thing up, and then it goes forward. The next step, you're gonna get your barrel once again, pusher, and then line it up. See, I already marked it here, but basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your Sharpie or marker or whatever, and you're basically gonna mark how much you think should still remain in the barrel, because you need some to still remain in the barrel, because let's say you accidentally draw it a little bit too much, it could like go out, and since it's rubber band powered, it might like fly out or just jump on you. So you want to know that it still has some in it, so that it doesn't explode in your face, and so that it actually shoots in the first place and doesn't get stuck. Alright, next step is gonna be to grab a stick, something like this, you know, your wooden dowel. Basically what you're gonna do is that you're gonna decide how much draw, like front draw do you want. What I mean by that is that you're gonna grab this, take your rubber bands, which I mentioned earlier, like something like this, like that in the front. And then now what you're gonna see is later what's gonna happen is that this rubber band is gonna go in front of this thing, which is eventually gonna be glued onto this thing. Basically you want to decide, so how tightly do you want it to be when it's in the resting and it's not primed at all. You can decide this as it gives you like more power, but I recommend not doing it so that it's stretched out, but it's not super stretched out when it's not even being used. But you'll be able to take off the rubber bands anyways if you just leave it open, as I'll show it later. Your next step is going to be to mark around here, and I already did. So mark here where what part's going to be in front, so connecting to here and in front. And then what you're going to do is, this thing's already cut, but what you're going to do if yours is not cut, is you're going to pull this thing back and you're going to see how far back it goes. Now for me, I already cut this, so remaining with the marker you put here so that it doesn't go out the barrel. It determines the amount of draw you have, and if it wasn't cut, then it would stop around like here, and there would be more stick. So like this, let's say there was more stick here. Basically you would mark here, you mark the back end where this thing is, but you would have to mark here, and this part where you mark here is where you're gonna cut it, because this is later gonna be locking into the back part of here. Alright, your next step is gonna be what I told earlier, but basically you're gonna bulk up your pusher. So this is the back end of the pusher, and you see the two ends, so one end, second end. Why is one end thicker? So earlier when I talked about the locking mechanism and how it actually like physically locks into the back, one side is gonna be thicker as it actually locks into the back like so, like this. And the other side is just gonna be pretty standard, you know, like one stick, maybe two if you really wanted to reinforce it, but it's not really necessary. Anyways, if it can focus, there's hot glue right there, and then right there, and then right here and here. So you want to make sure that there's ample hot glue there so that it doesn't like explode on you. Like whenever you use the pusher, it doesn't like just come off and then the thing just like doesn't work anymore, doesn't catch anymore. But anyways, once you got it like this, I recommend like using about like 4 popsicle sticks as the catching part, or 3, depends on how thick your stick is. Anyways, you're gonna get, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut it down so it can fit in between here, but have but like scrape by a little bit, and then you're gonna glue it in between these two, and then you're gonna put some glue here and here, and do it on the same side, do it on the other side. Then this will basically ensure that it has some has good structure, and then it won't break apart on you. Alright, so by the end of those steps, you should have 3 things. You should have your cut down stick, which will go onto the barrel as a base, your barrel itself, and finally the pusher, fully reinforced, so you know, top, bottom, then you have the middle part, hot glue there, reinforced, as that's where the rubber bands are gonna go. Anyways, the next instructions is gonna be to assemble it. So basically how you're gonna assemble it is that you're gonna grab your barrel, you're gonna grab your base, and first what you wanna do is make it straight, so like this, you know. Put glue on there, grab your barrel. So I'm gonna cut my barrel like this. Put it like that. You make sure it's where the line is, your marker. Anyways, make sure it's about even on both sides, so like that. Make sure it's straightforward. It doesn't have to be perfect since the thing's a little loose anyways, but just make sure it's straight enough so that it doesn't go to the side one way or another. Basically, by the end, you should have something like like this. It already dried in a couple of seconds. And now you kind of have the general shape. And then you get your pusher, put it in, and then we're really close to the end already in terms of actually making the thing work. Alright, next step. Reinforce your connections. Basically, get some hot glue, and then just put some hot glue in between here and the tube. Same thing on the other side. Then you're gonna grab a decently thick piece of cardboard, something like this, you know? Something like this. And then basically, gonna fold it, because this is gonna go around the barrel and the base. Gonna wrap it around like so. Basically, then you're gonna glue it into place, and then you'll make the connection between here secure. So I'll do that. Finally, glue there, and then you're gonna wrap it like so, and then you're gonna glue it here in place. Then finally, now you got your piece. Alright, next step is gonna be to make a platform for this flat area right here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get some cardboard. You're gonna cut it to be around like from here to there in the barrel. It's gonna go from here all the way to the back so that the pusher has a nice little place to rest. Alright, as you can see, I just finished building the platform, and it should look something like this. So going from here to there. And you might be saying, what about the end of the stick? Well, it should be perfectly flat on all sides. And if the cardboard is like too far above the actual stick, then I recommend using just a piece like this. The thick popsicle stick, I recommend using that and putting it over at the top to meet about the level where the cardboard is. And this is so that it catches onto it and it can have a good, nice catch. So basically, this is what your product should look like right now. So barrel, where it connects, the base, the stick, platform, finally your pusher. And if you want to test it, you can just muzzle load anything. So your mega dart or standard dart. And then you're gonna shoot it, and basically how you're gonna shoot it, just push this thing up with your finger and see if it actually shoots. If it shoots, then you're on the right track, but if it does not work or just breaks on you, then you might need to reinforce things. So it shot, it should shoot for you too. All right, so we are reaching the final steps, and you're pretty much almost done. The only thing you need to do now is build an actual trigger mechanism so that it'll push this thing up perfectly. And then boom, you got your own homemade Nerf gun. Anyways, you're gonna take popsicle sticks. So these are just some bits and pieces I have. But basically you're gonna make a trigger. So for me making triggers, grab a piece, and basically you're gonna form it at an angle like this. I'm gonna cut this a little bit, make it a little smaller. But anyway, something like this. I want to have a little bend like that. And then what you're gonna do, glue it and put it at this little bend like this. Should be like that. And now you have this little piece, and this is where the start of the trigger is. Cut that extra part off. Other side, cut that extra part off. Alright, next step is just reinforcing. This is pretty simple. You just grab your some more thick popsicle stick pieces, glue it on, and you want to make two sides. So one, then put a little bit of piece here, and then glue this thing closed. Boom. And now you got two enclosed sides, and you're gonna position this and just reference it. So how far up should that go? So about here. about where your finger is. Now you got a square. Then try to get it down the middle. You don't want to just like split it down the middle. Be very gentle. You don't want to break it or anything. Anyways, you should have this. If it breaks a little bit, you can like hot glue it a little. And then now you have your two little pieces, starting pieces of the actual thing that will actually push the pusher up. I'm saying pusher a lot. Ways. So it'll be like this. Ways. Like so. Then it'll be like that. I don't know if you can see that. Cut it down a little bit. You don't want it to go too far up, but you want it to go just enough up. And basically how you should glue it, grab your piece, glue it at the end, put your little part there. Alright, and then this thing's kind of crappy, so I'm just gonna use this as the middle part. You want to make a middle part so that it doesn't like break on you. Alright, now you should have a piece like this. You have a middle part, you have two sides, boom, you got your pusher. Alright, next you're going to grab one of these little guys. Basically what we're going to do with this is that you can grab your scissors to cut it, or it can be like wire clipper, something like this, which is what I'm going to use. But basically, you can see like there. So guesstimate about how long you need it to be. For me at least would be like that much. It's gonna be a little bit shorter though, so that's probably good enough. Alright, got the second part. Alright, next, grab your two pieces. And you're gonna glue it about here, so about in the middle part there. Take your glue gun. Put a little bit of glue. Doesn't have to be a lot, not yet at least. You want to build on that hot glue a little later. Anyways, just a little bit so it gets a little bit around here. Should be on like that, so as you can see, there, like there. And you'll want to do this with both sides. Paste the thing on there. Make sure that they're about the same, like the thing. By the end, you should have it looking like this. But anyways, you want to let it cool for a little bit, and I suggest a good 30 seconds to a minute before adding any hot glue. Alright, now you're going to strengthen the bonds. And what I mean by that is putting more hot glue on it. Because it uses a decent amount of hot glue, I recommend leaving it dry or to cool down for about 2 minutes. Alright, now that you have your trigger ready, all you need to do is grab a stick. Basically, you're gonna see where this thing lands, so just put it here. Let's put it like this. You're gonna see where the thing lands. So I would recommend marking it, something like that. So grab a Sharpie. Just marking it a little bit. Anyways, take your popsicle stick right here. Grab it, move this out of the way. Grab your popsicle stick. And try to get it down the middle. It's not always perfect though. You might have to go through multiple popsicle sticks just to get to that one cut. Anyways, that should be fine. Anyways, now all you're gonna do is you're gonna get the flat side, so that would be 1, 2. Then you're gonna glue it here and here. Basically, find the thickest part, glue it there, then see if it lands or not. If it does, then you're good. But if it doesn't, just move it forward a little bit until you get to the right spot. That should work pretty well. Then I'll do this with the other side. Put it like that. Then just move this part forward. You want to move this part forward. Basically, it's gonna surround it like this, and then when you move it up and down, it's gonna be like that. Then what you do after is then mark where it goes, because you need to. So let's say it's around there. Now it might be a little bit low or high. Cut it like this, and boom, now you have your piece. All right, so then gotta get a little piece just to cover that up. So like that. Cut this a little bit size. Then move this up. Just like that, and then boom, you have your hinge. Now you want to glue a little part on the top here so that it doesn't like slip or anything. So I'll do that. Paste it. Then have it like this. Now you got your little square. Basically that's where the hinge is gonna move, like this and that, you know, like that. Then you want to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, once you're done building the little cage around it, it should look something like this. So like this on this side and like this on the other side. Basically how it works is it's kind of like a hinge, so push it and it goes forward. So and now you're gonna make the second part of the trigger, which is really isn't that much. Just gonna grab your ting, make sure to grab your popsicle stick and cut the tip off, make it perfectly flat, straight. And then all you're gonna need to do is have it like this. And basically you're gonna take your pusher and you're gonna use it for reference, because you can see how far you have to pull it back. So I think I'm gonna leave mine like there. It's a little stiff, so it'll stay in place. Then you'll grab your stick. Make sure to glue it there. Grab your stick right here. Glue it like this. Glue it so that the furthest or the lowest position is not too far away from the actual thing. Basically, you're gonna get a little piece of cardboard. Glue this part here. Grab your piece of cardboard. Make sure to glue it on well. And now then you're gonna grab this part, then this part, and you're gonna fold it. So basically ensure that the rubber band doesn't like accidentally get out or anything like that. So now you have your little slot. Hold it, make sure it's done. And then once it's done, you can just clip off the excess. Next, you're gonna grab like a little piece of popsicle stick. You're gonna cut out to about this size, and you're gonna round off the corners here. Got like 2 of these. Then you glue them one after another. Sorry for the background noise. Someone's just using the blender. Is get this part, another part from the popsicle stick. Cut that part off. Cut it in half. Alright, now you're gonna glue this part on. This part. Alright, now you're gonna put your rubber band. You're gonna see about how far it goes. So mine would go about here. It depends on how lanky your rubber band is. But I'm gonna go with this position right here. Just gonna glue it onto here. And basically how this thing's gonna work is that once it dries, you put the rubber band over this thing, and it's gonna get tucked here, and then that creates tension on the trigger. So whenever you pull the trigger back, it goes back forward again. And it should be like that. And now you have the basics of the gun done. It's pretty much ready for use already. All you have to do is just get the pusher itself. Put it in like so, this way, with the thicker part up like this. And then grab your rubber bands. Put it here. And then now you can just use it like this. Alright, now you can just shoot it. Now sometimes this doesn't work. If yours doesn't work perfectly and it doesn't shoot, make sure to see what angle it goes at. So for me at least, it goes off like this, and this basically means that I need to make this part more thicker to this way. That way it's able to hit this thing up right here and then actually make it go. Alright, so pretty much after all those instructions, you should basically have the basic internals. So everything that's actually necessary to fire, shoot, that sort of stuff. So range should be decent. I built a sniper, so it's gonna be above. It's gonna be pretty good range. But even if it's not a sniper or anything, it's just gonna be like standard, you know, like standard size of a paper roll tube. It should have pretty decent range, as it'll use 2 big rubber bands, which will be like twisted to make like, it'll basically act like 4 rubber bands. Basically, just show you what it could be like. This thing's a little difficult to prime because it just has a really long draw. So I'll shoot this maybe once. I don't know. Load this in because it's a muzzle loader. Then yeah, it shoots pretty decently far. Anyways, there's a way to make a grip, and basically you would take 2 of these thick popsicle sticks, you would cut off the top. Like so. Then you would just paste it on here. You would take another one on the opposite side, and it would go like that and that. And then at the bottom they would glue, you could glue them together, and you could probably add like a grip using a paper tube to reinforce it, and then adding some other like sticks to reinforce it in general. However, I won't show it since my actual gun right here that I have, it isn't gonna use a traditional grip. But that's how you would make a traditional grip. And this is basically how you make all the internals. Now,
anyways, after all the instructions I've already listed, your results should be something like this. Well, this isn't necessarily what you're going to end up with. This is something that you can make with the platform. There's a lot of different things you can make using the platform. So, for example, this sniper uses has a stock, really long barrel, and really long draw, and gets really nice range. But the basic, in general, shape is basically the thing I just showed you. You know, long barrel, long base, and then just the trigger here, and then the, handle. But you can make a lot of things. So you can make a shotgun, for example, sniper, a grenade launcher, different types of things. Since it's very diverse, you can really make them like different shapes. You can make them shoot different types of ammo. So mega, normal, Mega XL, Rival, and it can all shoot it. This one can actually shoot like all 3 ammo types except for Mega XL. But anyway, there's a lot of different things you can do with this platform, and it's pretty diverse. You can even make pistols and stuff, and while they only get like maybe 20-foot ranges, you can really push it if you put a decent amount of power behind them. But anyways, that's really it for this entire tutorial. I just wanted to show you guys how I make my Nerf guns, how I make my Nerf homemades. I think it would be something cool for you guys. Anyways, that's really it. Next video is going to be related to Bond. James Bond.